Hey y'all, I love this kind of video. I'm so excited to be filming it. I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna call it this time, but in the past I've called it shopping my stash for wish list dupes, or I've sometimes called it makeup I have that's better than makeup I want. And I've also seen Lauren, my friend Lauren, doing this kind of video, Lauren May Beauty, and she calls it what I'm using instead, which I really love. Essentially, I'm gonna be talking to you about the makeup that I've picked out from my own collection that is like stand-in makeup for stuff that's new to the market that has caught my eye. So there's some stuff that's come out that's new that I kind of want for one reason or another. And instead of buying it, or instead of just pining away for it, I've gone shopping in my own collection of makeup and I've come up with stuff that I can focus on using to kind of like take the sting out of the fact that I'm not rich and I can't buy all the new makeup that I want. But it's not all about not being rich. Like, it's not just that I don't want to spend all my money on makeup. It's also that I don't want to have too much. I don't want to just use something for a very short amount of time and then immediately buy something new that's similar to it and use it for a short amount of time and then immediately buy something new. So it's about frugality, but it's also just about focusing on using what I have, using up what I have, and in that way, practically, actively loving, like lavishing love on what I already own. I think that when you fail to lavish love on what you already own and instead you just want what's new and want what's new, it's like you develop the habit of being dissatisfied with what you have. And I think that it can actually affect your life way beyond just like the realm of makeup or the realm of shopping. I like to focus on what I have, reroute my attention to what I have, and in that way continue developing the skill, like strengthening the muscle of loving my lot in life, loving what I already have. And I find that does go beyond just makeup and just shopping. If this is your first time to my channel, then welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Hannah. I love beautiful things, and everything that I just said is kind of like what underlies the makeup and beauty content here on my channel. If all of that sounds good to you, I hope that you'll subscribe. Now let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video. This video is kind of like an extension of my new makeup releases video. I recently I do it every couple of weeks. I filmed a video talking about what's new to the market, and there were kind of like more things than usual in that video that did catch my eye. Like, there were a number of things in there where I was like, oh, I kind of like this. If I saw this in person and I had money to buy it, I might buy it, So some of those are the things that I'm talking about in this video. And the first one is such a thing. It's the Dominique Cosmetics blush. Dominique Cosmetics came out with cream blushes, and one of them in the shade Natural Rose really caught my eye. It was like this soft corally color that kind of has yellow undertones. It's really a little bit unusual and kind of compelling. I feel like it has that natural, almost sunburny look, but also just has a brilliance to it. I'm not usually compelled by brighter colors like that, but something about that really did compel me. But I have a blush that compels me in the same way. It's Kjaer Weis Joyful. And I'm not sure if this looks quite the same. Like, I don't know. Hopefully I'll have the picture of the Dominique Cosmetics one up on the screen. And I'm not sure how similar this is going to look to it. It's just that I feel similarly about this blush. I feel like this has it's that same sort of like soft, bright coral with kind of a yellow undertone. Like, there's something about it that leans yellow around the edges, kind of. At least that's how I feel. And that's what matters. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm reaching for, when I saw the picture of the Dominique Cosmetics one, it inspired a love of a certain kind of color in me. And that same love, I feel like, is evoked when I look at this blush or when I use this blush. So I couldn't use everything that I'm going to be talking about today because some of it's like the same kind of product, but I did use this one today. I put quite a lot of it all over my little cheeky cheeks, and I love how it looks. Really, especially, thinking about it, pulling it out, looking at it, swatching it did help, but really like applying it and really getting into it really helped to eliminate any last shreds of longing that I was having for that blush from Dominique Cosmetics. Patrick Ta has come out with a new palette. I talked about this in that video as well, that new makeup releases video. I really love the idea of texture. I love any makeup that's pushing like neutral, texture-based neutrals, but I'm definitely not gonna buy that palette. And so I was thinking about Well, I talked about this in that video a little bit. Just almost anything that I have I can use to make the kinds of looks that I would make with that. In that video, I talked about the fact that I had just buffed just a regular Natasha Denona bronze. It was like I think it might have been from the gold palette, but it was in my little magnetic palette. I just brushed that all over my eyes, and then I had used the Danessa Myricks Color Fix foil, which is here. I don't have it on hand, but I held it up in that other video. The Danessa Myricks Color Fix foil to add the texture. I have so many little things like that, like little pots of glitter, little liquid glitters. That's what texture is. And also, you know, eyeshadows that have really rich, flaky micas in them. That's what texture is. I have so much stuff like that because I love texture. Just a neutral shade with a textured shade like that on top of it. I have a million combinations of that kind of thing. The one that I brought over here that I didn't mention in that video that I actually feel like is the baseline for that is the Tom Ford Cream and Powder in Naked Bronze. This is one of my beloved products. I've used a ton of it. This bronze, I feel like it's like the epitome of that Patrick Ta. It like sums up the Patrick Ta palette. I look at a neutral palette like that and I dream of rich bronzy looks like this. So whatever shades in that palette are this color, those are the ones I would be using the most. And I have this beautiful moussey cream shadow that is that color. And then for texture, I really love this topper, as you can tell, because I've used like half of it and I have some of it on my eyes today as well. So I just feel like being tempted to get that. I'm not actually actively tempted to get it, but I'm tempted by it. Like there's something that I love. I love it. I respect that Patrick Ta release. I think it's a really good decision. But I myself can easily do everything that I would do with that palette, with my makeup, and I can do what I would do with that palette 90% of the time, just with this little thing. So I definitely don't need to consider buying it. Westman Atelier has come out with a lip product, notable because it's a liquid balm, and that's something that I'm kind of into the idea of lately, but also notable because it's not like $85. Like everything that she comes out with is like between $50 and $100. And this is a liquid balm that it's like around the $35 mark or something, which is expensive for a lip product. I think it might even be $38. Very expensive for a lip product. That's like Gucci prices. But it's more possible for me when I think of like spending a little bit of budget on something, you know, when I think about like picking something up for myself, that's more in the realm of what's doable. So I was looking at the listing and strangely, the one that was really compelling me was this sort of like reddish corally color. The pale ones, the really easy to wear pale ones, the more neutral ho-hum ones look very beautiful and would probably be more practical. But there is this imagery of this like really glossy, like fire coral that I kept looking at. And I was like, I would just love to slather that all over my lips. And then I realized that the reason that I thought I would like that is because I really like this. This is what I'm wearing on my lips today. It's the Persona Cosmetics Coral Gloss. I love this gloss. I immediately got it out and put it on. When I like found out about the Westman Atelier thing, I looked at the listing on Sephora. I wanted the coral color, and then I remembered this and I immediately got it out and put it on. And I was reminded that it feels very nourishing. Of all the lip glosses I've ever tried, this is one of the ones that's the closest to feeling like it could claim to be a liquid balm. It feels like a lip gloss mixed with a liquid balm, like a cross between a gloss and a balm. And it's not sticky at all. I find it less sticky and poppy than the Tower 28 glosses even. And I love this color. I love it. I don't know why I ever like stopped wearing it constantly. I like it because it adds color and it brightens up the face, but it feels like it doesn't compete too much with other, like I have a pretty strong cheek look and a pretty strong eye look going on today. And I feel like this is light, even though it adds color, it's still kind of a light lip look. So it doesn't make me look overly made up all over the place, all over my face. It's like a dream. It's like my favorite. It's been sitting in I loved it when it first dried and it's been sitting in my collection for a while. And it's like my desire for the Westman Atelier product caused me to pull this out again. And when I put it on, it was almost like I was putting it on for the first time and being so delighted with it for the first time. It's like our love is having like a second wave. It can be just as exciting to rediscover something that you've owned for a long time it can be just as exciting as buying something new. It's often even more exciting because the reason that we keep things is that they work for us. And new stuff half the time doesn't work. You know, I just filmed a whole video about things I regret buying. Like a lot of times new stuff, it has all the claims, but then it doesn't work. If you redirect that excitement into shopping your stash, you're always going to be shopping for stuff that does work and stuff that you know you like because it's already yours. Because I was looking at the new Westman Atelier product and because I got to see a friend recently who has discovered Westman Atelier and started using some of their products and really loves them. And she was raving about the cheek products, the baby cheeks. I like clicked away from the liquid lip balm and I like went and looked at the baby cheeks and I was like, ugh, I've always wanted to try Chouchette, this beautiful peachy color that they have. And there's another one, Bichette, that looks really beautiful, like a deeper color. And I was sitting there being like, oh, I wish I had hundreds of dollars and I could like buy these Westman Atelier products and put them all over my face. And then I was like, wait, Hannah, you're shopping your stash for wish list dupes. Is there anything, can you like, they aren't new products, but I was like, can you do it to this too? I realized that the two colors that I was looking at in the Westman Atelier baby cheeks sticks are exactly the same as the two colors that I own of the Lila B Divine Duo Lip and Cheeks. This one right here is Be Incredible and it looks exactly like Chouchette. And this one, Be Lovely, looks exactly like Bichette. They are so good. The formula of these, it's so good. It's a creamy pigmented cheek product that also can work on the lips. Also, for this kind of thing, I prefer being able to stick a brush into it. I prefer that over like a stick that you swipe on the cheek. So it's just like, these are the perfect stand-ins for those ones from Westman Atelier that I've been pining after for honestly years. And so pulling them out and thinking of them that way is helping me to get over the fact that I'm not going to spend, you know, hundreds of dollars on those other products. And it's reinvigorating my genuine excitement over these, which is well deserved because the formula is so good. Okay, let's talk about MAC Botanic Panic. In that new makeup releases video, I looked at MAC Botanic Panic, the entire collection, and I was like, this is so beautiful. I was just impressed by it. And then I was like, I mean, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy that. I'm not even gonna buy it for a review. I'm not gonna like buy a MAC palette, but I do think that they did that idea well, like they did that concept well. It's so easy though for me to shop my stash for something similar, even if it's just this Odin's Eye palette, which I've been using. Again, I don't know how, I didn't compare them. I haven't held them up next to each other. I haven't held this up next to the picture of the MAC one, but I'll be putting the MAC one up here now, so you'll be able to see that they're probably not exactly the same. I think I remember the MAC one having like more yellows in it or something, but those colors that stand out, like the pastel blues, the pastel greens, the yellows, at least something resembling them is here. Like they're here in some way or another. So when I was gonna do my makeup today, I pulled this out because I was like, oh, let me see if I can kind of dupe the vibes of Botanic Panic using this, but I didn't reach for the pastel green or the pastel blue or the yellow. I considered it, that was my plan, but I chickened out at the last minute because I only like wearing those kinds of colors every once in a very long while, and I just wasn't feeling it today. So I ended up going for this bronzy red down here, which is called Copper Red. And I love the way that it looks. Like I am so happy with this eye look. What I'm wearing just Copper Red all over my lids and the topper from the Tom Ford. That's all that I have on my lids today. It's a really simple look. So I learned a couple of things. One, I learned that Botanic Panic, as much as I appreciate the execution, isn't something that I would use very often because I pulled out my dupes for those shades and I didn't want to use them. And two, I learned that there's an eyeshadow in here that I really love. Like, I feel like I want to do this look every day for the next 2 weeks. I'm here for it. The other thing in the, actually it's kind of a similar story. The other thing in the Botanic Panic collection that caught my eye is that pale purple, or it's not even pale, it's like a mid-toned lavender lipstick. Right now, for some reason, that's really tickling my fancy, and I saw it and I was like, I'd wear that. And then I remembered, and I even remembered it while I was filming that video, that I own NARS Pussy Control, which is a really similar color. I mean, it's kind of the same color. If anything, this is grungier, which is better for me. Like it's just a little bit more grounded, a little bit less like Easter egg. And I tried to wear it today, actually. I put on this whole look. it might be that it was competing too much with the eyes. Like this is a pretty grungy eye and a little bit of an intense eye. I also have quite a lot of blush on, and it might be that I just needed something lighter and a little bit more complementary. Or another way to say it is that if I'm gonna wear Pussy Control, I need to kind of build the look around it and do something a little bit more delicate. I actually have the best success with this when I wear a bare eye, like just a little bit of mascara, nothing on the eye, strong brow, clean skin, and I tend to really like the way that looks. I couldn't make it work today, but it reminded me that, again, like this for me is kind of fussy. I like the idea of it, but I don't wear it very often. I don't like it all the time. It's definitely not something that would make sense for me to like buy another one of, or like a different version of. And actually I would even be fine without it. You know what I mean? Since I have it, I'm gonna wear it. I promise I'll wear it in a video soon. But I would even be fine without it. So not only do I not need to buy the new one, the one from MAC that's kind of calling my name, I wouldn't need to buy it even if I didn't have this. And pulling this out of my drawer and playing with it and putting it on really reminded me of that and really calmed me down about the whole thing. Okay, this next one is like the biggest stretch kind of, because I don't know what the product is like that is going to be released, but I'll tell you what's going on. The Armani Melting Balm, it's so beautiful, and it really, when I saw that, oh man, when I saw the picture, it's partly the packaging and it's partly like the color range. Do you ever feel like the reason that you want makeup is that you love the way that all the colors in the range look together? You think they did a really good job of picking colors, and all together the colors look so good that you like want one of them. But that doesn't make sense, but that's how I feel about the Armani one. I love all the colors, and I love the way that the picture of all the colors together looks. Anyway, I'm very drawn in by this Armani Melting Color Balm, or whatever it's called. Yeah, that is what it's called, Melting Color Balm. But I don't tend to like a balm. The word balm turns me off a little bit. And so what I decided to do was to pull from my collection the products that are balm-like, and to try to get myself to use them to remind myself why I don't love balm products, so that when we learn more about the Armani Color Balm, if we learn that it is indeed a balm, I will have recently reiterated that I don't want to buy a balm. So I got the Danessa Myricks Dew Wet Balm in Rose Water, and the Patrick Ta She's So LA blush, which has a very balmy cream blush. Both of these are really pretty. I'm gonna show them to you and you're gonna be like, girl, what are you talking about? They're really pretty, because they are really pretty. So there's the Patrick Ta and there's the Danessa Myricks. They're so pretty, but they're balms, and they just do that thing where they kind of stick and patch, and the color doesn't build, and the color doesn't kind of make a seamless thing. What you'd want to do with these is to buff them out really, really thin, like really thin, and just have it be a glaze. Especially the Danessa Myricks looks really beautiful when it's buffed out to like a glaze. But I don't tend to do that with these. I don't tend to reach for them and put them on like that, because then they're sort of sticky on the cheeks. They're like this balmy stickiness. I think they're both really beautiful products, and I do think that they are doing exactly what they are designed to do. Like I don't think that there's anything bad about the way that they're designed. I just think that I don't get along that well with balms, with like color balms, multi-purpose balms. I like to build a cheek like the one that I have on right now. And so if that Armani product turns out to be more balmy, which I think it is, like based on the pictures of the models wearing it, kind of like just on the eyes and lips, it's not gonna be for me, and that's gonna be a relief to me, because they're probably like gonna charge $60 for it or something like that. And then lastly, this product that I know that I'm not gonna buy, but I keep seeing pictures of it and it keeps kind of making my heart go double beat. Givenchy is releasing a Prism Libre blush range. I have a Prism Libre powder in mousseline that I got in PR, and I really do like it. Like I love the little packaging. I love the smell of the powder. I really like the 4 quadrants of different colors that can be mixed together, used on their own. Trendmood just posted a picture of the color range, and in the color range of the new Prism Libre blushes, there's one, it's the one called Organza Sienna, these rich, bricky, terracotta nudes. I just want it. I keep looking at it and being like, I want that. It's so me, and it would just be so delightful. And the idea of like a loose powder blush for some reason is kind of getting me right now. I don't know. It's just something that the part of me, the makeup goblin part of me, just straight up wants it. But literally all of my powder blushes are the same color. Like if you've seen any of my overhead videos where I open all of my powder blushes, and I have like 10 of them or something, I open them all up and it's like the girl has a type. You know what I mean? Like they are all essentially shades of the exact same shade. They're shades of the same shade. They're shades of Organza Sienna. Like it looks exactly like all of my blushes. So I feel like all I have to do is to pull out two of my favorite blushes, the Blush Subtil in Mocha Havana Shimmer and the Blush Subtil in Miel Glacé. They look like two of the shades in the Givenchy Prism Libre blush in Organza Sienna. And probably if you mix Organza Sienna all together, it ends up looking just like this. It's just ridiculous to think that I would need like another powder blush in that exact same color family when powder blushes last for so long. I absolutely love the ones that I have, and I use cream blushes half the time anyway. Bringing myself down to earth a little bit, getting into what I have, swatching it, touching it, appreciating it, remembering how much it cost, remembering how much I have, applying it to my face and enjoying it. These things really help me to just detach from that sort of like leaping in the gut that leads you to want to immediately put stuff in your cart and buy it right away when it's new and shiny and it's just come out. Remember, shiny new things come out all the time. And these feelings, like the feelings that I'm having right now about that one shade of the Dominique Cosmetics blush, or the feeling that I'm having about like the Westman Atelier balm or something, they're gonna die so quickly. Whether I get the stuff or not, like whether I buy a Westman Atelier balm or not, those feelings, those passionate feelings that feel so real right now, they're gonna die so quickly. They're probably gonna be dead by next week, those feelings. But then new feelings about new other products will rise up to take their place. And so if you act on those feelings every time, if you buy something every time you feel that way, it quickly becomes unsustainable because it's constantly buying stuff, constantly losing interest in it. And then you get more and more makeup, spend all of your money, and you're never happy. That used to be my life. I mean, I'm speaking from experience. I'm not projecting or judging. I'm saying like, I went through that and then I had to do a no-buy year to shake myself a bit of it. And that is how I learned how important it is to me, for me to remind myself that I love what I already have actively and specifically every time I want to buy something new. So that's what I was doing in this video. I hope that it was enjoyable to you, and I really appreciate you for being here. As always, don't forget to take extra good care of yourself today so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.